Poland.
Okay, you're talking about it out loud. I was like,
Yeah.
well, okay. All right. Go ahead and call this meeting to order.
Go ahead.
I'm just happy to be here.
Well, it's so cute because you're gaveling and there's nobody here.
I'm just trying to follow in God's footsteps. He set the bar very high. Be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors hereby enters into a closed meeting for the purposes of discussing the following: discussion or consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose or the disposition of publicly held real property where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body. 1, Motor Mile Park. 2, Technology Manufacturing Building. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Would you please call the roll? I almost said Madam Clerk.
It's all right.
Supervisor Creed?
Yeah.
Supervisor King?
Aye.
Supervisor Biggs?
Aye.
Supervisor DeMotts?
Aye.
Supervisor Shepherd?
Aye.
Chair Tuck?
Aye.
6 ayes. We're in closed session.
Sat down and got comfortable.
No, we just got comfortable. I'm leaving these here for dessert.
Is there a motion to come out of closed meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Would you please call the roll?
Sure. Supervisor Perkins is not here. Supervisor King?
Aye.
Supervisor Biggs?
Yes.
Supervisor DeMotts?
Aye.
Supervisor Shepherd?
Aye.
Supervisor Creed?
Aye.
Chair Tuck?
Aye.
6 ayes.
Whereas the Board of Supervisors of Montgomery County has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.23711 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the Board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors of Montgomery County, Virginia, hereby certifies to the best of each member's knowledge: 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification resolution applies, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion conveying the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the Board. Would you please call the roll?
Need a motion.
Oh,
and a
need a
second.
motion and a second. Yes,
So
thank you.
moved.
Second.
Would you please call the roll?
Supervisor King?
Aye.
Supervisor Biggs?
Aye.
Supervisor DeMotts?
Aye.
Supervisor Shepherd?
Aye.
Supervisor Creed?
Aye.
Chair Tuck?
Aye.
6 ayes. We are out of closed meeting.
Yes. And certification stuff.
And certifications, yes.
Is there a motion to go into work session?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Biggs?
Aye.
Supervisor DeMotts?
Aye.
Supervisor Shepherd?
Aye.
Supervisor Creed?
Aye.
Supervisor King?
Aye.
Chair Tuck?
Aye.
6 ayes. We're in work session.
All right. This is in regards to the draft letter of renewable energy tariff, and I'm going to turn this over to Supervisor DeMotts.
Okay. I have copies of the draft letter for everybody if you'd like a paper copy.
Why don't you hand them out?
I wrote draft on them. I meant to put it across the copy, but didn't want to reprint them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And, well, you should. It's not the first time a school teacher's handed me something with a lot of red ink on it.
Oh, sorry. This just went up there.
Thank
All
you.
right. This is a presentation on PUE 2016-00051. It is a petition of the Appalachian Power Company for approval of a 100% renewable energy rider, aka green tariff, aka rider REO. So first, what is a 100% renewable energy rider? It is also known as a rider REO or a green tariff. These terms are used interchangeably and all mean the same thing. Virginia law allows utility customers to purchase 100% renewable electric power from third-party providers unless the customer's utility offers a 100% renewable option. Currently, APCO does not offer a 100% renewable option in our region, so the market is open for another utility to invest in local infrastructure to provide renewable energy. Appalachian Power Company filed an application with the Virginia State Corporation Commission to provide a 100% renewable energy option. That's what they're calling Rider REO. Rider REO allows APCO to repackage electricity from wind and hydropower facilities in other states for sale to Virginia customers in order to meet the 100% renewable option. And if approved, Rider REO will prohibit customers in APCO's Virginia service territory from buying 100% renewable power from anyone else. It would also prohibit competitive service providers from entering the market and selling to end users. Without end user sales agreements, banks will not finance energy infrastructure investments. So if Rider REO is permitted, competitive service providers may then only sell to APCO, to PJM, and that's the regional energy and capacity market, or out of state to other customers. So why should the Board of Supervisors send the drafted letter to the SCC? If approved, this will allow APCO to be the only legal provider of renewable energy in their Southwest Virginia territory, even though renewable energy infrastructure does not yet exist in our region. Customers in our region who prefer their electricity be generated from renewable sources instead of from the burning of fossil fuels will be purchasing energy that is imported from other states, as APCO currently has no infrastructure or concrete plans for infrastructure investment in our region. Importing renewable energy into a customer's home kind of defeats the purpose of requesting renewable energy to begin with. If you request renewable energy, you are making a decision that you would like energy without the burning of fossil fuels, and there is no way to import renewable energy without burning fossil fuels. This is a bait and switch, and it's what's known as greenwashing in the environmental movement. Infrastructure investment in the renewable energy sector will grow the economy and create jobs. Not only would investment in renewable energy infrastructure and construction create jobs, but having renewable energy available can appeal to companies looking for new locations. For example, Sierra Nevada explicitly identified the lack of renewable energy options in our region as a deciding factor in its decision to reject Montgomery County and Roanoke as a site for their new plan. They opted instead for Asheville, North Carolina, and a Rider REO would close the door on this path of growth for our economy because by its own design, it restricts private investment. And finally, we have a recently approved solar ordinance that creates a pathway to commercial solar for Montgomery County. Rider REO would prevent new investment. And even though solar is not the only form of renewable energy, our new ordinance will not create a pathway to private investment because AEP would become the only user of the new ordinance. And that would be if they ever choose to invest here. I got you guys a little movie. So is a clean energy future even an attainable goal? Advancements in the last 2 decades, and especially in the last few years, have successfully proven that our country can transition towards a more clean energy future. This video is about 1 minute and 45 seconds long, but it gives really good information.
The 20th century was powered by polluting fossil fuels, big coal, oil, and gas, that came with a huge environmental and health cost. But we knew there was a better way. Clean, renewable energy cuts pollution, grows our economy, protects our air and water, and gives our climate a fighting chance. The good news is we're reaching that tipping point where solar and wind are becoming cheaper than dirty fuels. U.S. solar installations have almost tripled in the past 3 years. Solar jobs are growing at a rate 20 times faster than the rest of the economy, and costs have dropped by over 50% in the past 5 years. Texas is just one example of where solar power is cheaper than gas and coal. Another is Colorado's largest utility, adding more solar and wind because it's cheaper. And U.S. wind energy energy has tripled in the last 6 years. That means wind turbine manufacturing is busier than ever in creating good American jobs. 55 countries, including Canada, get over half their energy from renewable sources. Investors are reading the signs too, with global clean energy investment up 162% in 2014, and the majority of voters agree we should invest in clean energy. Transitioning to renewable energy will eliminate the real risks of oil spills, contamination of our groundwater from fracking, and pollution of our rivers and lakes from coal ash. With every clean energy victory, we're closer to having 100% clean energy by 2050, closer to cleaner air and water, and the chance to slow climate disruption. When we free ourselves of dirty fossil fuels, we're never going back.
All right, so in addition to the climate benefits, this is on the last slide, transitioning to clean energy in our own country will reduce our dependence on foreign energy sources. More regulations like Rider REO will undoubtedly slow that critical progress. And so then what are the benefits of Rider REO? I've outlined both benefits to Appalachian Power and to consumers. First, for Appalachian Power, it does ensure a virtual monopoly on providing renewable energy to consumers in their Virginia service territory, even without renewable infrastructure investment, because there is no requirement for investment in infrastructure to add renewable power to the grid. So without cost, APCO will be allowed to have a 100% market share of renewable energy sales to our region. And it also protects APCO from competitive service providers entering the market, because they cannot sell their product to any end user and therefore would have insurmountable obstacles to obtain financing. And then there is a consumer benefit. It will provide some customers an option to purchase renewable energy where that option does not currently exist. However, as previously stated, this option will call for importing renewable energy. So in my opinion, greenwashing the product is not in the best interest of consumers. It does protect APCO's market share, and that's definitely a corporate best interest. And then the consequences of the SEC allowing APCO to move forward with Rider REO, again to Appalachian Power and to the consumer. To APCO, there are no consequences. Adopting Rider REO is anti-competitive and ensures APCO's monopoly on both fossil fuel energy and clean renewable energy options are protected. Rider REO is a profit generator for APCO and does not promote the public's best interest. To the consumer, first, it prevents investment in new infrastructure in our region and the jobs that will come with it. With Rider REO, the door to private investment will close. It may be hard to care right now when the infrastructure is not present in Montgomery County, but we don't know what the future will hold. It also undermines public interest in that it removes the opportunity of choice that exists in a competitive market. And it also adds no new renewable power to the grid. And finally, anti-competitiveness puts ratepayers at risk of unfair market practices. Right now, purchasing renewable energy through APCO where it is offered is 18% more expensive than purchasing traditional burned fossil fuel energy. And without any competition in the market, there is no incentive to work to equalize renewables to fossil fuels. And then this is just a list of, there's a trade organization, some environmental groups, and Appalachian Power. This is where I got the information for this presentation. I thought it would be important to share that. And finally, the Board of Supervisors should ask the SEC to reject APCO's Rider REO application because it is not in the best interest of Virginia residents. People are more important than corporate profit. Any questions?
I'll start
Do I
off.
have to stay up here to ask?
Oh, no,
answer
whatever
questions?
you prefer. You're a supervisor, so you don't have to stay down there. You can come
I'll
up.
sit with you guys.
Okay, all right. And then after you get up here, I'll start with Supervisor
I don't have any
Shepherd.
questions.
And I assume you don't have any questions of yourself,
Oh, I've got a lot of questions for myself.
but none on this issue. Supervisor,
this issue.
Supervisor Biggs, do you have any
Well,
questions?
I don't really have a question, but I have a couple comments. And, you know, I agree about the monopoly thing because I've dealt with Appalachian Power in a previous situation. So, but here's something that I've found out from going to various meetings. There is a wide interest in solar energy, especially in our area, and it takes like sort of a bigger plot of land to put solar panels in, and there's a lot of speculation going on outside that I'm not privy to, but I know it's going on from people that I've talked to about, you know, wanting, I guess different companies wanting to buy large tracts of land to do this. So right now there is some competition out there just to get land for, you know, to put like a whole solar field of panels in. So I don't know how that might relate to this, but to me, whenever you give one company complete control of a situation, then that means they can charge what they want to their customers, and I don't think that's a good idea. And why are we importing energy instead of creating it in our own state when we, I think, could have the capability, especially with solar, to do that? So I think that this sort of is, to me, is a good idea to let them know how we feel about it.
Supervisor King.
I don't have no question, but I just want to tell April, I appreciate you working on this, trying to protect the citizens of Montgomery County. Thank you.
Supervisor Creed.
Yeah, what I have seen of this is there's a lot of it in Blacksburg. And the only thing I've ever heard anybody say anything negative about it was on a very small type sheet dilemma that, or something that one of them may have had, but we've had them come to our Rueting Club, and they're nothing but up and down straight on those. So that's kind of.
And I think you're probably talking about home solar, like people with solar panels on their roofs.
Yeah, now if you went with something like that, then you would either need a great big field,
Yeah.
a great big something to look at rather than just, but you'd be surprised how much the other you get. You know, if you get a house that's 4,000 foot and you put that on there.
I have several friends in Blacksburg that have solar on their roofs, new installations through the Solarized Blacksburg program that have achieved basically zero bills because they're creating enough energy with their solar panels to power their own homes.
Right, and they like to do, and this was a couple years ago, they like to do 2 to 3 houses at a time.
Yeah.
Where they can, you know, if they step a foot in one, it don't make anybody angry, and you know, they just keep going. But it works, and it works good.
I do have one question, and you mentioned, is hydroelectric not considered renewable?
It is, yeah,
All
it
right,
would be
'cause
water for
I was
renewable.
thinking of the Claytor Lake Dam, and that's why I was thinking we had, and I had not heard the Sierra Nevada, that was one of the drawbacks. I was thinking, we've got the Claytor Lake Dam, which is a huge generator that, as I understand, was built just to provide electricity primarily to the
It was.
arsenal during the, that. But that, I don't have any other questions at this time. Is there?
So this
Is there-
letter would have to go to the SEC tomorrow at the latest. And I told Chris this earlier. I really would like for it to come from this board because there's strength in it coming as an entirety, you know, an opinion of the entire board. I understand if there's reluctance to send it through. If that was the case, if we decide not to send it through from the board, I will be sending it through on behalf of myself, just because, you know, clearly it's something I believe in. So I don't know what we need to do. Do we vote? Do we wait?
I was thinking we would come out of work session and then we would
See
vote.
if there's consensus.
And if there's consensus in regards to the letter, then we would come out of work session, we would vote on it, and then go to the PSA meeting.
Okay.
So is any other discussion before we go out of work session?
Thank you for bringing it up.
Is there a motion to come out of work session?
So moved. Second, third, fourth.
No further discussion. Would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Demots.
Aye.
Supervisor Shepherd.
Aye.
Supervisor Creed.
Aye.
Supervisor King.
Aye.
Supervisor Biggs.
Aye.
Chair Tuck.
Aye.
6 ayes, we're out of work session.
All right. In regards to it, is there a motion for the board to issue the letter that has been provided and dated November the 8th, 2016 to the State Corporations Commission?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Demots.
Aye.
Supervisor Shepherd.
Aye.
Supervisor Creed.
Aye.
Supervisor King.
Aye.
Supervisor Biggs.
Aye.
Supervisor Tuck. Chair Tuck.
Chair Tucker, that's fine. I've been called much worse. I do have some reservations. I try to do my best to do homework on voting on behalf of this. I have some concerns about if we're having separate energy providers and the quick nature, and I understand why we've got a deadline. This may be the exact perfect right letter to do, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to vote against it, but I have no problem signing the letter.
Thank you.
5 ayes, 1 opposed. We will have the letter ready tomorrow.
That sounds good, and I'll make sure to get it signed, and we can even FedEx it. We're fine with that, to make sure to get it there.
Thank you very much, all of you.
There being no further business, did I miss
Never
something?
mind.
No, you didn't miss anything.
We're still trying to get that truck letter.
Oh, okay. I thought there was something else on the agenda. I thought I missed something. This meeting's adjourned. I didn't hit it.